Hey guys, great to see you. We are streaming across Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. My name is Bren Harris, and I am the Warrior Mom. Hey, imagine with me. You get up early and the kids are still asleep. The dogs are still asleep. They don't need to be walked or let out to go to the bathroom. And you get in your comfy chair and you get that warm, fuzzy blanket around you because the air conditioning's on because it's really hot right now. And you take that first sip of organic, amazing coffee. And I grab my phone and I think, oh, school's going to start in 9 days. I better check my messages, make sure we have all the paperwork turned in. And lo and behold, our most favorite teacher of all time says, effective immediately, I have resigned. I want to tell you, in that moment, I forgot all my training for about 30 seconds. I don't know if you remember the old Scooby-Doo cartoon where he would be tied in knots at the tail and go multiple different directions. That's what it felt like for about 30 seconds. And if you have neurotypical children, this may be lost on you. That's okay. For special needs kids, when they find that SPED teacher that gets them and meets them where they are, and then this happens suddenly and unexpectedly, and we start school in 9 days, that's like an EF5 tornado, a Cat 5 hurricane, and an 8.8 earthquake all simultaneously. So I'm Bren Harris. I'm so glad you're here. Please let us know in the comments where you're chiming in from. If you threw a dart right at the middle of the U.S., that's where we are, Oklahoma, and it has weather that has a personality disorder. So we have had an amazing character building summer. And of course, pollen is off the charts. Let us know in the chat where you're chiming in from and what your weather's like. Hey, Tickety Talk. Great to see you guys. Hey, Instagram. Hey, Facebook. Hey, YouTube. I know that we are called for such a time as this. I am the Warrior Mom. Now, let me back up in the way back time machine, because my son's going into his junior year in high school. And this is how Warrior Mom started. We were in Japan. That's where my son was born. And hey guys, Florida in the house, Ohio in the house, and Wyoming in the house. Great to see you. We stayed with an older relative who had not updated their house since the 70s. Florida in the house, Georgia in the house. Great to see you guys. Please share with someone who has a special needs child or someone who's getting ready to go back to school and they're getting blinded or sideswiped or stunned because the teacher suddenly resigns. So here, this is the Wayback Machine, 2008. Baby Zach, I'm at the kitchen table the kitchen area that has not been updated since the 70s. We stayed there for a few months while we were house hunting when we moved back to the States. I've got my laptop, my favorite cup of coffee. And you know what? That was really, really hard. My son was only a couple of months old. And I found that I had a voice inside me. And when I say the Warrior Mom, we are not reactive, we are responsive. And we are talking tonight 3 steps how to handle crisis like a CEO. And I know this may not apply to where you are, but please share this with someone who might need it. Hey guys, great to see you. Wild Florida, great to see you. And I know it's not an accident that you are here. And again, just to recap, this morning I'm getting my cup of organic coffee. I'm getting that wrapped in that cozy blanket and open my phone, and this bombshell text from the teacher my son adores said, I have resigned effective immediately. I do not fault the teacher. I know the school has had some challenges. What I do know is my first priority is my son, because in case you haven't looked lately, the world's gone crazy and we're here to be problem solvers. So this is camera rich. Please take a screenshot. And my son learns new words. He is diagnosed autism spectrum disorder, level 3, yet to be verbal. And what we do is we go, oh, who says? What's the workaround? So we found memory expert Jim Quick says, When the body moves, the mind grooves. So we do American Sign Language. And my son's name is Zach. So sometimes we refer to it jokingly as Zachanese, because sometimes we make up our own signs. Now, our 2 words for tonight. So loosen up those fingers. Here we go. And they're pretty simple. React versus respond. Okay. And we're going to define all these. So react is kind of like that. It's very simple. Like you're pointing at somebody. React. It's a knee-jerk reaction. It's reactive. It's not well thought out. And then respond, subtle nuance. Hang tight. Respond. See how that takes a curve and it's more intentional? Instead of react, we're going to respond. Okay. So let's back up. Hey guys, great to see you. And we are here to say, you are here for such a time as this. Oh, Harlem in the house. Great to see you. And I don't have all the answers. Okay. I do not have all the answers. What I do know is that together we can conquer things better. And that's why I always say at the end of my messages, together we are stronger. Now, why is that? Because I've tried to do this on my own, and success does not happen in a vacuum. All right. Now, I have a book coming out in October. We're going to talk about that at the end. So hang with me, settle in, get your screenshots in. All right. So CEO. I know there's a lot of definitions for this, but for the purpose of this talk, CEO is a professional problem solver. Now, why do I say that? Because when we have bombshell moments, maybe you have been in a marriage and all of a sudden your spouse surprises you with a sudden divorce. That's right up there with losing a loved one. That grief is real. And that's why there's divorce recovery systems around the states. Now, what if you suddenly, God forbid, lose a loved one? I remember 13 years ago standing in my kitchen and got the call. My dad went in for a simple surgery and they said, he's terminal. He won't last through Christmas. And this was the 1st of December. I melted in a puddle in my kitchen floor and sobbed like a baby. Now, I don't have all the answers. I don't know what your situation is. Maybe you're caring for an elderly loved one and you just feel like you're out of gas and you're pouring from an empty cup because you have to, not because you want to. I see you. I hear you. And you are valuable. All right. Hear me, warriors. You are valuable. Now, for the purpose of this talk, CEO, handling a crisis, 3 steps. So we have CEO as a problem solver. Now, the next one, we're going to take a CEO pause. Now, again, camera rich, take a screenshot. CEO pause, respond versus react. Now, what do I mean by that? We have a CEO mindset because we are a professional problem solver. I had to take off the mama bear hat this morning when I got this shocker bombshell. Your teacher has resigned effective immediately. I had no clue. Now, I had to take off the grizzly mama hat because I will do anything for my child fighting for his education. All right. No, we let him have consequences to his actions. When we play board games at our house, we don't let him win. We are here to prepare him for life. All right. So now we're taking that CEO pause, react versus respond. Now, here's the CEO mindset in that pause. What's the truth here? What's controllable right now? Now, hear my heart. Hear me, warriors. What's controllable right now? We are powerless over people, places, and things. We have complete control of our own actions and our own intentions. Now, we're going to say, what's the truth? Now, I don't have a clue all the reasons that the teacher suddenly resigned. I don't have all the clues why the school didn't, move heaven and earth to keep her, because she was overqualified. And the good ones usually promote out. And I know it's not fair. And there's a reason our state is completely last in the educational rankings. So we have what's the truth, not what Susie told you at the water cooler or what's, grandma, Aunt B told you at church. What's the authentic truth of the situation? Their reasons and their actions have nothing to do with us. We are not stepping on their side of the street. What I do know is my son needs a teacher that gets autism spectrum disorder level 3, yet to be verbal, right now, because school starts in 9 freaking days. Okay. Now, again, I'm human. And my first 30 seconds, I had a little freak out. Then I got busy. What's the truth? What's controllable? Just to recap, our two words tonight: react or respond. All right. So sorry, little Mike. And then we have, we're going to define react. React is emotion driven, it's immediate, and it's unthoughtful. Now, why do I say that? Doesn't that sign kind of communicate that? It does to me. React. There's no nuance to the sign. It's just pointing. We want to point the blame. We want to shame, blame, and go and have no responsibility when we are in that emotional state. Now, if you're just joining us, please let us know if you're on the live, put an L. If you're on the replay, put an R. And anytime you're getting value, please don't hesitate to put value in the comments. That lets me know, oh, thank you. Authentic truth, complete control over our own reactions. Georgia in the house. Thank you. And I want you guys to know, I don't have all the answers. Why am I able to take off the mama bear hat and put on the CEO hat? Because I am a professional problem solver. 3 years ago, I had no clue how to do this. I partnered with one percenters that are complete CEOs in every aspect of their life. And I learned from that. We have it stacked and we set our intention and we live with intention, because our purpose here at the Warrior Mom and the Warrior Nation is connection, community, and contribution, giving back. We connect with each other. We create that community because together we're stronger. Then we take and we do contribution. That's giving back. That's being the thermostat. When we walk into the room, we influence the energy for good in the room. We do not reflect it. Hear me, warriors. That's worth repeating. When we walk into a room, we influence the energy for good in a positive way. Everyone in there needs to know that you see them, you hear them, and they are valued. We are the thermostat. We change and influence our settings for good instead of being a thermometer. What does a thermometer do? It just measures the temperature. It mirrors back the atmosphere or the attitude in the room. Now, I know this is a little bit out there. Hang with me. It's worth it. And I do have a book coming out in October, and we're going to talk about it at the end. So please stay till the end. Hey, guys, great to see you. We have DC in the house, Tony, the voice. And we have South Carolina in the house. I am so glad you guys are here. Now, a lot of people are catching this on the replay. So if you're on the live, put an L. If you're on the replay, put an R. And also, anytime you get value or something resonates with you, put value, because that helps me know I'm talking to my people. Yeah, our real quick recap. We are doing two signs tonight: react versus respond. Now, react is kind of like this: react. And then respond has a little nuance because it's more deliberate. Respond. Now that brings us back. Now, I'm not going to keep these up here a long time because people just scroll right past. So please take screenshots. Now, we've talked about react, and that is emotion driven, immediate, and unthoughtful. And this is the sign: react. All right. Then we have respond. I love this: deliberate, intentional, thoughtful. Now, how does that differ? 3 years ago, I did not have this skill set. Now, will I get up in your grill? Yes, especially if you're not delivering on the individual education plan for my son, or you're saying you're going to charge us $100 an hour for autism therapy, and you sit there and let him play on the phone. No, no, no. My deliberate and intentional response is bye-bye. Yes. And I know a lot of children that are on individual education plans, IEPs. The school takes the federal money and then does not deliver on the individual education plan. There are parent centers in every single state. Some states, large states like Texas, have more than one. And you can go to parenthub.org and find your parent center, and they will walk you through and attend the IEP meetings with you. All right, please share that. That's a nugget. All right, so we have the CEO mindset. The CEO is a problem solver. They don't react, they respond. Deliberate intention. All right, then we're going to take that CEO pause. We're going to say, okay, what's the actual truth of the situation? Back to my example. And again, you can apply this to your own life or share it with someone who has school-age children. I'm getting up early. I'm doing my morning of intention. I'm drinking my favorite organic coffee, snuggled in my warm, fuzzy blanket. I pick up my phone to look at the text. And my son's favorite, most qualified special education teacher we've had in, a bazillion years of school. And she said, effective immediately, I resign. Please reach out to these people at the school to find a different teacher. So I respect her decision for her own mental health to let us know. My freak out was, hey, school starts in 9 days. What do we do? So you better believe it. For about 30 seconds, I had that Scooby-Doo moment where I went, all different directions, or the Grizzly Mama. It felt like a F5 tornado, a Cat 5 hurricane, and an 8.8 earthquake all at once, because our children, our super kids, deserve familiarity, comfort, and consistency. That structure keeps my son so calm so that he is not in fight or flight, and he can keep learning and keep growing. Now, just because someone in a white coat tells you your child can't do something, I want you to hear my voice, Voyeurs. Who says, what's the workaround? Who says, what's the workaround? Because we were told over 12 years ago, he'll never be able to, have a real life or be out of diapers or speak. Because of ASL, we're learning, and we can have words. I have no clue what he's saying. And once I say, show me, he shows me what he's saying. We look up the sign. He says it perfectly, because when the body moves, the mind grooves. All right. Hey guys, great to see you. Oh, please let us know in the chat where you're chiming in from. And we've been talking about 3 steps to handle crisis like a CEO. A CEO being defined as problem solver. And what we want to do is respond, not react. All right, so let's recap real quick. I want to do respond again. Deliberate, intentional, and thoughtful. Now, why is that so important? Because we're human. Our human nature is to react and try to force the issue. Our human nature is to react and try to force the issue. Our developed CEO problem solver nature is, what's the real truth here? What's the authentic truth? Not the hearsay, not the scuttlebutt, not the water cooler garbage. What's the actual truth, and what's controllable right now? For me, I might have freaked out for 30 seconds, but I can control my own actions. Stay in my own lane, keep my lane cleaned up and orderly, and I can step into that I can walk in purpose and champion my calling by reaching out to the people that are the decision makers to connect us with an even more qualified teacher. And that's exactly what happened. I was the textbook squeaky wheel. I mean, I had 2 emails, 2 direct messages, and 3 phone calls done within 2 minutes of all of this happening. And I know that I can take that pause and say, okay, what's the truth? I can't change the teacher's decision to resign this close to the beginning of school. I can't change the issues that are happening at the school that makes them lose great teachers. I can't we have no control. Hear me, Warriors. Hear me, Warriors. We have no control over people, places, and things. We have absolute control over ourselves. I know that's not real popular, but let me tell you, it will protect your serenity and sanity more than anything I've ever taught here. Now, if you are on the live, put an L. If you are on the replay, put an R. And let us know, if you're just joining us, let us know where you're chiming in from. Hey, Sandra, great to see you. How's the soccer world? Let us know in the chat. We are here to say that we can handle crisis like a CEO. We're problem solvers. We're responding, not reacting. We're finding what's the authentic truth and what's controllable in my lane, my side of the street right now, not what anybody else is doing. Because when you have a special needs child, your whole world gets turned upside down, because now it's not just, oh, great, the kids are going to school. They'll be gone for 5 or 6 hours a day. No, we go to school 1 day a week. Now we're looking to supplement that the other 4 days a week with work study and sheltered workshops and the programs that the state offers, as well as ABA, which is autism therapy. We don't get to have that luxury of the brick and mortar. We also don't have to deal with the headaches that come with brick and mortar and the state of education in our nation. Thank you for all those who teach and are the real deal. And I know that you guys are amazing. I'm going to switch gears real quick. We're going to recap authentic truth, what's controllable right now, then respond. Anything that happens, when it hits the fan, I want you to hear my voice. I want you to hear my voice and take a screenshot. What's the authentic truth here? What's controllable right now? Then we're going to respond, not react. All right. Now, I showed you, for those of you just joining us, this is how Warrior Mom started. We had PCSed or moved back from Japan, where my son was born, and staying with a relative for a few months while we were looking for a home. And I found myself so fired up because I found moms being disrespected online. And I said, this is not going to cut it. Now, fast forward, this was just about 6 months ago when one of our out-of-state medical trips. You can see back then he had the big ear defenders on, and we had such a blast on that trip. And it was fall break for us here in Oklahoma. And it was just really, really empowering because he got to have some grown-up experiences, keeping up with the hotel key card thing, working out in the hotel gym each morning, having that consistency and empowering him to know how to navigate life in the real world. Now he's 6'1". And in a day, we have already been the squeaky wheel, put on the CEO problem solver hat, and we have found a male teacher that's even taller than my son, who is 6'1", and has multiple autism certifications and special education certifications, not emergency certified, authentically, traditionally trained. And we are so excited. And we get to do a meet and greet with his young son that could be a friend to my son on Friday. So you guys send all your good thoughts and prayers this way. And we are really excited about this opportunity because sometimes we get so stuck in looking at what we feel like is a tragedy or a shock or something we don't want to happen. If we will back up, shut up, pray up, pause and respond, not react, better comes our way. Isn't that amazing? Now, onto the book. I want you to practice this phrase. I teach Japanese in this book a little bit because I just love the phrasing and the people and the language. It was amazing to live there. It was like miniature Hawaii. It was very southern Japan. And one of the phrases that I use in the book, it's defined as resilience and acceptance. Shikata ganai. Shikata ganai. Now, if I'm in a bad mood, something happens, I'll go shikata ganai. It feels like I'm cursing in a different language. I'm not. Shikata ganai means resilience and acceptance. And that's what I thought of when I was stepping into this sudden earthquake in our life for our son's teacher. Remember, just because things are not progressing the way we envisioned or how we thought it would go doesn't always mean it's a mistake. Hear me, warriors, that's worth repeating. Just because life is not progressing the way we think it should go doesn't mean it's a mistake or it's not I guess just pause and say, what is this trying to teach me? Not, why is this happening to me? That's victor versus victim. And I'm telling you, I had to live this. I don't get to step back and go, you guys do this. No, this is blood, sweat, and tears, sweat equity, because we're living it every single day here at the Warrior Mom and the Warrior Nation. Remember, respond versus react. We're going to be a CEO problem solver. Now, the book comes out in October, and thank you guys. Here's the cover photo, the best-selling author photo you chose. Thank you so much. Please check out my socials. We've narrowed it down. We're having a runoff between two different journal covers. Now, why a journal cover? At the end of every chapter, if you hate mystery, intrigue, and romance, this is probably not the book for you. But I felt like Warrior Moms deserve to have a little bit of fun. So this is a mystery set in both Washington, D.C. and the island of Okinawa in southern Japan. And at the end of each mystery chapter, we have a little Hey, Warrior Mom, I see you. And we have a little object lesson. Next 24 hours, I want you to observe anything that makes you uncomfortable or you want to change. Just observe. Don't react, respond. And then you have a journal that goes with that, and you can write that out and let your mind see, because I find writing it out is very much like the Old Testament. Write the vision, make it plain so a runner can read it on the run. It gets all that white noise out of my head and onto the paper. Now, the title of the book has not been released. However, check out my socials. I'll be posting that tonight. 2 different journal covers that we're going to have a runoff. We're going to have okay, the deadline for publication is happening quick. So I'm going to need you guys to vote. Check out the socials. I'm Bren Harris, the Warrior Mom at the Warrior Nation, your source for truth, transparency, and trust. Warriors unite.